It's sad to say, but I really do feel like I was more prepared for life whenever I very first moved out 4 years ago. Because, 4 years ago, even though I was working the same job, I could afford to fix my car if it broke down. I could afford to pay that late bill. I could afford to buy groceries for every night of the week. And yet, here we are, 4 years later, and I'm fucked. And no, I really don't say that lightly. I had a freak accident where my hood latch disengaged, my car is totaled, and that little $600 that I could have pumped out back then to get it at least workable, I can't pump it out now. But that $600 4 years ago is $1,200 now. And that $1,200 has to go toward my bills, toward groceries, towards taking care of my house, towards fixing the burst water pipe, even though it hasn't been cold enough to freeze the pipes yet. Every day it feels like I am fighting for my fucking life. And this didn't feel the same way 4 years ago when I should have been more scared. Why was I not afraid back then? But I'm afraid for living now. So yeah, if you wondered where I've been, why I've fallen off, all that good shit, it's because I've been experiencing life. Life that wasn't pretty enough for the camera.
How are we all living right now? In 2025, how are we all getting by? And this is no way political, so please leave that behind at the door. But in reality, friends, fellow Americans, how are we living? How are you getting by? I don't believe there's a middle class anymore. I believe middle class is now low income, and low income is now just not surviving. So what brings me to this today is, well, a few things. One thing, for example, our town has been building these apartments, and every town is required to give so much percentage to affordable housing. And so they've announced that the lottery is beginning for the low income section of this apartment building at $2,300 a month for a 2-bedroom.
Whoa.
A 1-bedroom was like $2,100. That's how much you would have to make basically a week. And that's low income. Our state senator on Facebook announced that. Very exciting news. I called it out. Many people agreed. Some didn't. You can kind of see where we're going with that. Who's not struggling right now and who is and understands. Another example, groceries. Is there anyone that can afford to buy groceries at this day and time? Everyone, I'm sure, has cut back. I can be honest. I no longer eat 3 meals a day, maybe 1. I mean, I do have an eating issue anyway, but so it's easy for me to do that. But what about the people that don't? Like, you can't afford to eat anymore. I remember when things were normal. I have a Market Basket as our local grocery store, and I could get a full week's of groceries, full week's worth of groceries for $100 or less. Eggs were 99 cents. It was just the affordable grocery store. It is still the most affordable grocery store, but that $100 is now $300. My son buys the same groceries every week when he was by himself, before he had his son, and it used to be between 40 and 50 bucks. He was a single guy, but then it went to 100 bucks for the same exact grocery list, like the same exact things. It's just not sustainable for anybody. And then if God forbid, like that, what has just happened to us, you run into any kind of crisis, because we have very recently, we're in it right now. What do you do? What do you do? Because there's no money to put away anymore. There's no money. Every ounce of what we had was going into the bills that we started back when things were more affordable. But as costs were rising, those same bills are now double, but with the same income. But I mean, what do people do? I know, like, side hustles, everyone's doing side hustles now, but then it's harder to get side hustles because everybody needs them. And when you have a full-time job where you're working 40, 50, I don't even think full time is 40 anymore, like say 50, 60 hours. My son works 60 hours a week and still can't afford anything. After caring for his son, he can't afford anything. And I just don't know how people are doing it. And like I said, I don't know when crisis hits, what are people supposed to do? The only people making out right now are people that have the money and can afford this kind of economy. And that being said, the only other thing I see that is so frustrating to me is there's people out there that don't work, but yet somehow they're still thriving. They're still, like, I see it on the daily around my town where they don't work. Maybe they're disabled. I don't know their exact story, but I know they don't work. But they're at the dispensary because it's legal in our town, in our state, every day or every other day. They're at the liquor store. They smoke cigarettes. They get DoorDash 2 times a day, coffee delivered in the morning from Dunks, nails did every week or every other week. They're thriving somehow without working. But the people that are busting their ass, there just feels like no hope right now. So if you guys are going through it, which I'm quite sure most of you watching this are, let me know in the comments if there's any hints, suggestions on what to do, especially in a crisis. And if you just want to vent it out, leave it in the comments below. And I don't have any answers to this, obviously. But I need to finally say something. I've been careful on here, because it can be just kind of maybe perceived as political, and this isn't by any means. So I just am frustrated today, so it's time to speak out. So that's what I'm doing. And my dog's hair is going everywhere. Say hi, Piper. She doesn't have to worry about the economy. We'll always take care of her. I'll starve before I don't take care of her. Huh. I will see you guys later.
I feel the exact same way about my pets. I will eat one meal a day. I will fast for 2 days out of the week before I get rid of my pets. Not happening. We're going to do a video on the cost of having a pet these days, and it's going to be outrageous, but totally agree on that one.
I make almost twice the federal minimum wage, and I am still thousands of dollars below the poverty line. I am homeless. I live in my car. I cannot afford to rent an apartment. I hardly afford to live in my car. Food is expensive. And it's tough times, I work 40 hours a week. I am not in an entry-level position. I am in a skilled position. I make twice the federal minimum wage. And I am poor. And if that isn't the most late-stage capitalism thing, if you want to buy me a meal, my Venmo's in my bio.
No, I just went today and got my driver's license renewed, my car tags renewed, picked up 2 prescriptions, and got a few groceries. To say that I'm completely broke now is an understatement. So I have to go home and start selling off my furniture to be able to live the rest of the month. I mean, it's unbelievable. No, I'm not gonna, that's just a joke. I'm not gonna have to sell anything, and I'm thankful to God that I am able to do those things. And my heart hurts today, truly hurts for people who are not able. And we're living in some rough times, really rough times. And we need to be praying for all those around us who are not as fortunate as we are to be able to do the things that we need to do. I'm not talking about extras. I'm not talking about going on vacation and doing fun things. I'm talking about living, taking care of your vehicle if you can even afford a vehicle, putting groceries on the table, buying medicine, the things you have to do. It's sad. It's very sad.
Guys, the cost of living is just keeps going up every single day. It just gets higher and higher. It's outrageous. The car thing. I have had to take my vehicle to the car shop 5 times this year. So you can imagine, I don't have anything left after that. I'm literally nothing left. I cannot afford one more incident on my car because of how expensive it has been every time I've had to go. And to be honest with you, 2 out of those 5 times, within 24 hours of taking my car off the lot, there was another issue with it. And I mean, I am very fortunate that I have a job. I have 2 to 3 jobs where I'm able to pick up more work. So if I need extra money, I can go get the extra money. I cannot imagine how hard it is right now for people who are trapped in a 50, 60-hour a week job on a fixed income, who are not able to increase as prices increase. And honestly, that's the only way I've been able to make it. The only way I've been able to keep going and afford to feed myself and my dog and my cat and, pay rent and pay for my car and gas and all that stuff is because I do gig work. And for me, I personally really like to clean, and I'm very, very good at it. So that's where I went with, when I realized, like, shit, I'm going to have to figure something else out. I decided to go and talk to some neighbors, and I clean for them and I help them maintain their houses. If you have a skill like that, if you can mow the lawn, if you can hang up Christmas lights, help people decorate, if people are even going to do that at this point, there's little, just get creative. There's all kinds of things that people will pay for that they need help with right now because they're too busy trying to keep up with everything else. I don't know. That's my advice. That's what's worked for me, but things are really getting rough out here, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. But if you, just before I go, if you are enjoying this type of content and you like these reactionary style type videos, these cost of living, go ahead and hit subscribe. Please like, share with your friends, leave a comment down below. It helps out my channel a lot as I am trying to grow. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard to grow out here in this type of environment. It truly is, just in every way. To just progress in life at all seems to be a near impossible feat at this point. But I hope you guys, if you're watching this, I hope you know that you're not alone. I'm struggling. We're all struggling out there, just trying to do what we can to get by and hopefully get past this, horrible, basically depression that we're living in right now. I mean, you can't convince me otherwise. It definitely seems like we're in a depression right now. So just hang in there, guys. Team up with your neighbors, team up with your friends. We will get through this together. Community is key. It's very important. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.